5, 4, 3, 2. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what is sure to be the most disastrous episode of Strange the World. I still hear a fucking television. Who is watching TV? Turn it off. What is that? What the fuck was that?
I think we all died. This is hell.
Okay, hang on. I have to close this chat. I can't concentrate. All right. Did anybody go into the... Is anybody monitoring the YouTube page?
You told us not to go to YouTube and this.
I was just going to say that. Duh, Kevin.
Well, you just have to turn the sound off on the YouTube page.
All right. I got it.
All right. Well, Pedro is in there, so Pedro, thank you, sir.
Pedro's always in there.
All right, welcome to the Strange Sex 2 edition of the Strange the World vidcast podcast. Talking thing. I am joined from my right to left by Bill Thomas.
William T.
He is the author of Stuff. We are also joined by Tiffany Scandal. She, believe it or not, is the author of Stuff. We are joined by MP Johnson.
Stuff, that's right.
Yes!
We are joined by KMT.
Hell yeah, guys.
We are joined by Gregory Goatboy Cole. He has also written books. We're joined by Garrett Cook.
Howdy.
We're joined by, is it Gabino?
Yes, sir.
I can't pronounce names like Matthew. So Gabino, is it Iglesias?
Yep, you got it, man.
How do I pronounce that one right? But I can't pronounce anybody else's name. Gabino Iglesias is also the author of Daniel. What's your last name?
Velocity.
Velocity. He writes things. Brian Williams actually doesn't really write things. But he's here with us as well. All right. So, one thing that we all have in common here is we've written stories, and these stories are in a book. And this book is called Strange Sex 2, and it is the sequel to the first book Strange House Books ever released, and ironically the best-selling book that Strange House Books has ever released. So 25, 30 books later, I still can't, still haven't gotten it right. So we're going to try to go back to the beginning. We're going to see if we can get it right this time. So Strange Sex 2, featuring these fellows and several more, but they're not in here yet. John Bruni is floating around in the ether of the internet somewhere. We also have, who else is that it? Is he the only author that's not represented here? Oh, Rich Bottles Jr. He can't be here tonight because he's at a Jack White concert with his daughter. Am I missing anybody else? Who else isn't in here?
I'm here, and that's all that matters.
That really is all that matters. So let's get this thing. Let's get this thing going right. Now listen. Since I'm moderating this chat, I have to make sure that we keep a very strict structure, or this thing could get out of control really fast. So
Everybody talk at once.
I think
Let's go out of control.
I think the best way for us to do this, the best way for us to do this show would be to talk about each of our stories, how we came about writing these things, and the inspiration for our stories. We should talk about all of those things at the same time. So my story is called Holy Matrimony, and I wrote this thing a few months ago. Why aren't we all talking at the same time?
My story's called
My story is called Holy Matrimony.
My story's called Milky Sex from the
Christian woman who
And
really scarred me.
that title, I just had to get going on that.
You know, it's a big inspiration with the news. It came across in the right a lot. So.
I don't think this is working, guys.
And
This will be available for us to watch again later. That's the best part.
and they want to fucking publish it.
And these fucking clowns want to publish it.
Yeah.
All right. William T.
Yeah.
William T., you are the Sex Squatch.
I am the Sex Squatch, unfortunately.
Tell us a little bit about the Sex Squatch.
The Sex Squatch? The Sex
This movie
Squatch.
right here. This movie. The Sexquatch.
The Sasquatch did not write anything and does not write anything unless he's writing it in your blood, feces, or semen. But he's just a big extraterrestrial, big dick, Bigfoot that wants to fuck you up, and you should Google that shit and buy some. It's not like I get royalties anyway, but buy some.
We've decided that movie is not available on Netflix. It's not available on video on demand, but it is available through Amazon as a DVD, like it's 2005 or something, right?
Yeah, fuck you. DVDs, they still exist. I want a fucking VHS.
Is it on Blu-ray?
There were some limited edition Blu-rays.
Limited edition. Okay. All right. Well, that's fair.
I'm lucky they're not on fucking beta.
So, you also write stuff, right?
Loosely, if you want to call it that.
Here's the thing about William T. See, he's got me all fucked up because his name's Bill. Then he went by Billy, and now he wants to go by William. He's the most needy name. He's the most needy name author I've ever worked with.
My real name is Bill Thomas, and it's the most generic fucking name next to John Smith. Like I might as well be fucking John Doe. So
John Doe here. He says we've known each other for years through this movie nonsense. I used to make movies too, and
yeah, it turned out to be snuff, but whatever. I survived.
He contacted me one day and was like, "Yeah, you see, I wrote some stuff, and I thought maybe you might want to look at my stuff, but it's probably not very good." So he sends me these fucking stories,
and I was right; it was awful.
They're fucking amazing. This guy is a fucking.
Kevin has shit taste, so we published them anyway.
my shit taste meter just went crazy with this guy. It was like this. That's a shit meter. It went crazy when this dude sent me a story called Kafka's Run about these people with Christmas present heads, and these evil elves would hunt them down and decapitate them to give offerings to the little boys and girls of the world. It's a fucked up story, amazingly well written for a guy that doesn't fucking write fiction full time. So I was like, dude, you just keep writing me shit. I tried to talk him into writing me a novel, but tell us about that a little bit.
I just don't have the time and energy for that right now. I'm working on it. I have a couple novel ideas, but I just can't find the time to really devote to sitting down and pumping that shit out.
Pornhub is free. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Pornhub is free. It takes a lot of time.
It does. No, fuck that. X videos.
X videos. Right, so what did you write for Strange Sex 2, buddy?
Strange Sex 2, I decided to rip off Holy Matrimony and do the religion and porn thing. I actually did not know that Holy Matrimony was going to be in the collection, but I wrote Rule 34, about a story about a priest who wants to prove that God exists by using Rule 34, the rule that if there's porn of it, or if it exists, there's porn of it. So he figures if there's porn of it, it must exist.
Now, keep in mind that this story is about 1,000 times better than my shitty stories. So when he says he ripped my story off, he took it to the next level. So that was great.
I had no idea that was being in the collection. I fucking forgot about Holy Matrimony until it was announced being in there, and I was like, oh shit, great, 2 religious porn stories.
That's all right though, because my story.
What were you gonna say?
My story is about a tentacly Jesus that rapes an unsuspecting soul as it tries to go to heaven. So I think we managed to.
Yeah, there's difference.
Yeah, we managed to.
We're really well-rounded in hitting that religious pervert market.
Yeah, there's so much. It's a large pool to draw from, you know.
And for me, this is what happens when you grow up to be a pervert, but you went to Catholic school until 8th grade.
Yeah, definitely. Tiffany Scandal.
Ooh.
Hi.
You're a person.
You're a person.
We're being observant on today's Strange of the World, if you can't tell.
You wrote a book, right? Let me get this book.
Yeah, Kevin, bend it over. A little more. Little more.
You did not write the Twilight book.
You totally didn't even hear me. That's awesome.
You wrote this book instead, which is infinitely better than Twilight. And I have the distinction. I'm the first person that ever reviewed this book. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Kevin Strange. Let's give it up for Kevin Strange, ladies and gentlemen. A smattering of applause. So what,
That's the equivalent of just posting first on a page, like.
I should have. That should have been the entirety of the review. First. So I love this book. This book is amazing. It's got mutants in it. It's got a very powerful love story. It's got some mother issues in it. It's got a crumbling, decaying world. It's got lots of very, very cool ideas. You obviously have a very vivid imagination for a girl.
Hey.
Missed fight.
Tiffany, you and me, man, we're together now for this whole thing because fuck the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this
Not literally though. Sorry, guys.
Damn. This book is part of a big web video fucking gangbang.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That would be appropriate.
Weird
Straight
bang.
sex. Come on.
It took 15 minutes for someone to call this a gangbang. Come on, we're slipping. All right, so this is part of the New Bizarro Author Series. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the New Bizarro Author Series, Tiffany.
Yeah. So I went to BizarroCon. Well, let's see. I went to two BizarroCon ago. I went and met a whole lot of super awesome people, and
Thank you.
yeah, that's my story. Thank you. No, I met a couple awesome people. Then I just started going to the Writers Association meetings here in Portland and made friends and was asked to write a book, and I did. And there's the book. And it came out last year.
How was your experience writing the book? So you went to Bizarro. First of all, why did you go to BizarroCon? Of all the things you could be doing in your life, you decided to go to a very strange subculture literary fiction event. Why did that happen?
I've actually been reading Bizarro fiction for a good several years.
25 years is what I told a guy at the.
Yeah.
I was at the grocery store earlier, and some kid was asking me about my earplugs, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I've had my ears gauged for like 25 years." That would have made me 9 when I got my ears gauged for the first time. So you've been reading Bizarro fiction forever, and you were like, "Hey, this shit is it's right in my town here, so I'm gonna mosey on in there and say what's up to these guys."
I had no fucking clue that BizarroCon even existed until I think I friended Carlton on Facebook, and he posted something about it, and I was like, holy shit, I have to go. So I went, and it's kind of like my band camp. I count the days until the next BizarroCon.
I'm excited to go this year. We've got several new Bizarro Author Series authors and some outright Eraserhead authors here. This is actually this is the most professional group of authors I've ever. Believe it or not, folks, this is the most professional group of authors.
Professionals.
Yes, that I've ever worked with in terms of the publishing industry. These guys are all almost all of them are well-established authors through the Bizarro genre.
I'm here too.
So tell me a little bit about the writing process, Tiffany. So you've got you went to BizarroCon, you met everybody there, you were like, this is fucking awesome, and I'm gonna write something. Fuck these people. If they can do it, I can too. How was that process? Did you find it difficult to dig in there and write, or have you always written?
I've always written, but I just never thought I would have the attention span to write anything longer than 5K. And so after that BizarroCon, there was an event called Pitchapalooza, where we all just threw in a whole bunch of pitches and basically had our asses handed to us when pitches didn't go over very well. And heard back from Kevin Schemel, and he wanted to see a couple of these pitches actually written out. So There's No Happy Ending was the second draft I submitted for consideration for the NBAS, and we decided to just go with that one. It was fun to write. The research, I'm pretty sure, I'm just surprised that the FBI didn't show up to my door with all the research that I was doing. But yeah, it was a blast to write, and it was kind of sad to finish it. I didn't want to finish it.
That's good. The last thing you want is when you finish a project to be like, fucking finally, this piece of shit's done. Which I've done quite often, actually. So I'm curious, how many? You said this was the second draft that you submitted, but how many pitches? Was it the first pitch, second, third? How many pitches did you have to toss their way before they?
Oh man, I submitted something somewhere close to 10, and then I got an email back saying that they wanted to see a couple of them. I think on the list there were 3 of them that were included at the end for people whose pitches that they wanted to see. But yeah, went with one.
So what I find interesting, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, you go.
What I find interesting as a publisher, right now we're in the middle of a pitch. We're accepting manuscripts and pitches for the entire month of July. And what I find interesting is a lot of times these guys, even though I tell them otherwise, they will send one pitch, and whenever I tell them I don't like it, I'm the biggest fuckhead in the world, and I can go fuck myself. They're going to go publish with somebody else, or they're going to self-publish their idea. It's a very strange time to be a publisher right now, because whenever you say something like that, like, oh, I threw 10 of them out there, and they liked 3, and this is the one I ended up going with, that makes perfect sense to me. For some reason, people are like, you fucking don't like my idea? One idea? Fuck yourself, Kevin.
Blackjack and hookers.
All we heard was blackjack and hookers, dude.
MP Johnson.
That's what they're hearing now.
MP Johnson is a person.
I am.
Wait, go back.
Arguably.
Tiffany, I'm so starstruck that I forgot to ask you about your strange sex story, which is why we're here. Listen, I have a conspiracy theory, and do not give. You have to have your poker face on the whole time, because I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble for even saying this on the air, and you would definitely get in trouble if you gave any indication that I was right about this. But this is my conspiracy theory. My conspiracy theory is that Rose and Carlton are married, and Rose writes at least half of Carlton's books, maybe all of them. Maybe every book that man has ever written has been written by his wife. I have too much time on my hands. I spend too much time in this room. Go ahead with your strange sex story.
So I wrote a story called Flat Like Ken, and it's basically a guy. It's like the true story behind Ken and Barbie, except Ken's gay, and he anally rapes a guy with his phantom cock, and the guy's
now you just sort of skip past that part with his phantom cock, because Ken has no genitalia.
Yep. Yeah. So it's this kind of suspenseful story because this guy just wakes up in a motel room and thinks that he's totally going to get raped, and this anticipation builds up. He gets super freaked out, and then when the act actually starts, he's surprised. And then he becomes Ken's gay lover, and they time travel and murder a shit ton of people.
And so if you want to find out what a phantom cock is, the book will be on sale when, Kevin?
Oh, I don't know. Next week, I hope. But Sean Ferrari's still editing that. Teep, what is that thing to your right? It looks like a gigantic dildo.
No, it's my
okay. It's the bed.
Oh, I'm just going to leave it like that, though, for our new viewers.
Yes. So Tiffany sent me this story one night. She's like, oh, hey, I almost missed the deadline. Here's the story I wrote. And I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. So I start reading this thing, and it's for just everything she said it was. I was like, what in the fuck? What in the fuck did I just read? And there's usually a process at Strange House where more than one editor has to accept the story, has to greenlight the story, and then it gets passed on to the accepted file. For her story, I read it, and literally as soon as I finished it, I sent Sean Ferrari an email and said, this story's in the book, by the way. Don't even bother deliberating. That's just what's going to happen. So I love the story. It's great. It's a fantastic addition to this book. I appreciate. This is actually the first time we've ever really talked We've had a couple of discussions on Facebook, but you don't really know who the fuck I am or whether this is legit. Maybe there isn't even a book. Maybe I'm just a really lonely guy. I just really want people to talk to me. There won't actually be a book, but
Can't you be both?
I mean, the reality is I am both. So anyway, but thank you very much for having faith in this project, and it's turned out into it's better than I ever hoped it could be. Even you guys all did a great job, but I guess that's something for the end. So let's move on to MP Johnson now. Thank you, Tiffany, and thank you for not spoiling the conspiracy that Rose writes all of Carlton's books.
It goes deeper than that, Kevin.
You tell me about it. You tell me about it, MP Johnson. Tell me about it.
I can't.
Oh, well, fuck.
They'll kill
All right.
me.
So, well, that's what I mean, right? I'm in deep trouble for. I mean, I opened up a can of worms.
We're all going to die.
Yeah, shit's fucked. So you're a person, MP Johnson.
190%.
You write things. You've been writing things for a long.
I write things and I write stuff.
Yeah, and you've been writing things for a long time. Stuff, not so much.
Stuff I'm kind of new at. Things, the whole time. 1982, I started writing things.
Now we're gonna actually have MP Johnson on for a full 2 hours next week. So I'm gonna try not to ask him very many questions, even though I have a million that I want to ask him. We're just gonna stick right to this to your story for Strange Sex 2. So go ahead and tell us how'd you come up with your story? What'd you write about?
It's a story called Groupie. It's about a young lady who is hearing noise in her breasts, and she's pretty sure it's some sort of punk rock group, probably something New York-ish, circa late 70s, New York Dolls-ish. So she goes on a quest to find out where that sound is coming from inside of her breasts.
That's an important detail. That's an important detail because had it been a 1980s like hardcore group, she may have just left it alone. Like, that's not my thing. I'm not into that. That's not my thing.
Exactly. So she tries to get to the sound using various knives and cutting utensils. And I was excited because I read this story earlier this year at a reading that I did, and one of the people in the audience went running out about mid-story, looking all pukey-faced, and after the reading, she came up to me and she said, "That story was so disgusting, I couldn't stay and listen to it, but I'll remember it forever." It was like my dream compliment.
Cover blurb.
Yeah, so that's the second story that I've read that I said this is just going into this fucking book. I don't care. This is one of the coolest things I've ever read. And I actually was, for the longest time, I wanted that to be the cover art for the book, but I couldn't figure out how to do. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't figure out how to do this over here and then the punk rock band in there. What does he say? What does he say when she's jerking him off? Certainly. Oh, certainly. Indeed. Oh, indeed. That's what I wanted the cover of the book to be, but I couldn't figure. I'm not that good, I guess. I couldn't figure. But we're gonna leave it at that for now, MP, and we'll talk to you more in depth about everything else next week because you are the author. You're the author of one of the newest Eraserhead books, aren't you?
I am. Dungeons and Drag Queens came out just a few months ago.
Yes, and it's a fantastic book. I'm about 90% of the way through it. I enjoyed Pork Knuckles Malone. Your first was that your first release or first release I knew of?
Yeah.
Anyway,
first book style release, let's say.
I enjoyed the first book. I enjoyed the second book, and possibly have an opportunity to publish the third book. Let's give it up for the third book, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, book three.
All right. We'll talk more about that in depth next week. So, KM Teep. KM Teep. Everybody knows KM Teep. KM Teep.
I'm a person too, y'all.
She's a Strange House veteran and a person.
And a person, indeed a person. Well, partially a cyborg, but yeah.
I like that Todd Kennedy artwork you got behind you there.
Yes, shout out to Todd Kennedy, who did some really cool things when I wrote Slaughtertown Circus, and this is where they came from, and these were kind of an inspiration to me. So thank you, Todd Kennedy.
Yeah, Todd also did one of the versions of the Strange Head monster, so that's cool. Give it up for Todd Kennedy, ladies and gentlemen. So,
Todd,
the story that we wanted, the story that you submitted to us was actually the very first story you ever sent me.
Yes. It was not done then.
Let's, everybody knows the Teep story, but for those that might be, say, Tiffany Scandal fans or Sex Watch fans or Time to Kill fans, Brian Williams, you awake back there?
Yeah.
Brian Williams, hey, you never sent me pictures of your dick last night, dude.
I was going to, but it was hidden. And a vagina.
All right.
Somebody send that man a razor.
Teep. let's do the Teep story briefly.
Briefly. Okay, where do you want me to start and where do you want me to end?
The beginning.
Start at the beginning and end somewhere in the middle.
Okay. The very beginning was I used to be in a Rocky Horror troupe. I'm going to do this really fast. For those of you that know me, I tend to ramble, so I'm going to do this really fast. I used to be in a Rocky Horror troupe. I was Trixie, the usherette, and I actually went to a convention with my old troupe and met Strange House there. And then afterward, and I bought Strange Sex. That was the first book I ever read by them, and I was like, oh my god, this book is freaking amazing.
The first book and pretty much the only book most people have read from Strange House.
Pretty much. That needs to change. We have a lot of really talented fucking authors. So.
Actually, your Slaughtertown Circus book has been the bestseller for 2 months in a row. So.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Bringing it down a notch. Bringing it down a notch.
Finished it.
I did get my first 2-star review on it though. I was so proud.
What? Where?
I did. Oh my gosh, her name
on Amazon or on Goodreads?
Oh no. I think it was on Goodreads.
So
well, shout out to Amy who gave me this awesome 2-star review.
Hey,
I was so proud. I was so proud.
Give it up for cunts on Goodreads. Goodreads is full of cunts. I think I remember reading that. Didn't she say that it was like, well, these characters weren't very well fleshed out, and it was
the end of the book was cool. It just wasn't hardcore enough. Like if it was real hardcore, she would have rated it better.
If only there was more rape in this book, I would have liked it more.
Pretty much, yeah, that's how it was. But everybody else seems to like it. So anyway, yeah, totally just did that live. But yeah, so met Strange House there, and then Kevin was like, yeah, or actually, I remember I messaged you, and I was like, hey, thanks guys, for talking with me and everything. I really enjoyed that, and I'm kind of somewhat of a writer, so and they were like, you write things? Yeah, sure, you write things. Okay, give us a thing. And so I started writing this like kind of alien bit, and I sent them like an excerpt of it, and they were like, stop what you're doing and write us a zombie thing, and I didn't want to because it was zombies, and I don't like zombies or whatever. And then that's just kind of how I got into Strange House, and I've been kind of writing for them ever since.
Because she's a fucking amazing author, and pretty much
anytime she... I still will not suck your cock.
Did you say fuck your cock? Cause
no, I said, so, well, either or.
I'm not into that. When I started getting into the piercing and tattoo counterculture when I was just a wee lad. I was about 16. It was about 1996, and the piercing and tattoo culture was just exploding at this time. And I started hanging out at tattoo and piercing shops in my area, which is just a little like redneck town across the river in Illinois from St. Louis. But I don't even remember how I got hooked up with these guys. But I ended up coming over to this shop in the middle of South City called Cheap Tricks. And when I came to this piercing shop, it was like it's half a gay retail shop and it was half a piercing studio. They didn't even do tattoos at the time. But when I walked into this fucking thing, like the South City gay culture just smashed this like wide-eyed, naive Kevin Strange in the face. I had no idea some of these things happened. One of the first things I learned about was urethral stimulation. And I started learning about all these different male genital piercings, and you can get this piercing called called a Prince Albert, where you get you basically you get a piercing that goes through your urethra and out the bottom, so that you have this ring that goes into your dick, half in your dick, half out of your dick. And they had these fucking things called Prince's wands. And these Prince's wands were basically like a pin-shaped object that had a little fucking thing off to the side of it. And I was like, what are those? What are those used for, guys? And that was for dudes that like to have their dicks fucked, which is relevant to this conversation, team. So Prince's wands, they would shove these fucking long steel poles into these dudes' dicks and then pop this little piece out through the Prince Albert hole and screw a fucking ball onto it. So now they're locked into like boners by having these fucking long stainless steel poles shoved down their dick. And I was like, well, that's not something I like. Thanks.
I'm just gonna make an educated prediction here that at least 80% of the dudes watching will not be able to pee tonight. Like,
how would you pee with that in your dick, first of all? And the
I
answer
don't
is
have one.
hollow.
I think it would just go all over. I think it just goes everywhere.
It'd be like a fountain.
It
like
does
a
go everywhere,
urn.
but they make them hollow, so the pee can at least make a half-assed
So it's like a straw.
Yeah, it's like a fucking
straw.
stainless steel straw as thick as a fucking pen. And some
Who
dudes are into
says
that.
that you don't learn anything on Strange the World?
Some dudes like to take pinky fingers and fuck their
Oh,
urethras.
right, guys. So, where were we, Kevin?
You were talking about how you weren't going to fuck my dick.
Yes.
This conversation sounds like my internet search history.
So, basically, everything this girl touches is fucking gold. She puts her fingers to the keyboard and she writes fucking amazing stuff. So actually, this story was the very first thing I ever saw from her, and I was like, well, this is fucking, like, you've got an amazing, like, powerful author voice, one of the most distinctive voices I've ever read in the Bizarro community. So please write, we've got this zombie book called Zombie Brain Bang, this anthology coming out. Would you please write us something for that? And that'll get published immediately. I don't know where I could put this alien story right now, but I know where I could put that. So that's where the story Flush came about, right, Team?
Yes, sir.
And then you continued to write things for us, and then when it came time for Strange Sex 2, you completed this story. What is it called, and what is it about?
It is called Project 628, and basically it is a first-person account typed up by this government worker. They find it starts out like one of your run-of-the-mill, like, oh, they find like an alien spaceship crashed on the side of the road and all that stuff. And basically it just sort of maneuvers into the real reason that most aliens crash. But yeah, that's the coolest thing about it, though, and I want to see if somebody notices, because I know I'm going to say it here, and this is going to be like an Easter egg for the people that live around, like, kind of in the Midwest, and especially where I'm from is kind of a smallish city kind of in Indiana, a little north of Indy. I actually put real places, locations, times, dates, like, it's all factual, and it's all wrapped up in there, so I want to see who notices what, and see if I get any comments on, hey, there actually is a building that looks like that, because there is actually a building that looks like that. So I'm pretty psyched to see if anybody notices.
This was also a story that we were considering using as the cover art, and again, at the last minute, I was browsing this photo site for looking for different Monster X Press covers, and I came across this chick covered in paint with this really big weird hair. And I was like, that looks kind of cool. So I started playing with it, started making some fonts and some messing with different colors. And Teep got hosed for the cover of the book, unfortunately. So both Teep and MP got hosed for the cover. I apologize. We sold out and went with a stock cover.
I was gonna say, I would just like to make a comment on that while we're on that conversation, while we're on that topic. Kevin's like, oh dear Jesus, here we go. No, I remember you telling me, well, no, we're not gonna do
Yeah.
photos for the cover, man.
Yeah, no, I'm a
'Cause
total sellout. I'm
Everybody
a
has
hypocrite.
photos for the cover.
No,
I
I'm a
remember
hypocrite
that.
in the
I just
sellout.
want to let you know.
Absolutely. Totally, no, and I went with the cheaper option because my bank account is starting to look dangerously low. So
I got moths flying out of there.
yes, there are moths flying out of the bank account. So we're gonna. So everybody got hosed, kind of. Everybody got hosed for this book cover, but it's getting a lot of compliments, and hopefully we made the right decision. I know it looks beautiful, and I hope you guys all like it when it comes out. Let's move on to Grigori.
Whoa.
Grigori, something really weird happened with you in this book.
Yeah.
I handpicked every single author in this book. Now, some of the authors that I asked to write for the book didn't write things. You are the only author that somehow made it into this book without anybody asking you to write a story for it.
Yeah.
And it took about the third pass on the final table of content between me and Sean Ferrari before I went, hey, wait a minute. How do I not know this guy? I asked every single person to be in this book. Who the fuck is this guy?
I don't know. I kind of forgot that.
It turns out you had sent me. I had said something along the lines of, "We're not accepting public submissions for this book," and you had sent me a private message on Facebook and said, "Hey man, is it cool if I write something for you?" And basically, anybody that did that, anybody that asked me in private, can I write something? I said, you can go ahead and try, but just in case, just in case all of you guys that I asked to write stories shit the bed and wrote something terrible, I could reject it and go with one of these other people that asked me to do it. So I had forgotten that happened. It actually kind of freaked me out. I was like, how in the fuck did this guy get in our book? Nobody asked him to do it. And then I've got cat
I don't
hair.
know.
All over
I'm still wondering how I got in the fucking book as well. So I don't know. I'd forgotten that I'd sent it as well. For about a month.
Okay.
Forgotten that I'd actually sent it until I think it was Sean sent me an email saying that I was in the book, and I was like, fuck, okay, oh right. So yeah, really stoked, really cool. Loved the first Strange Sex book, and knockout, man, absolutely knockout, flawed.
So tell us, since I don't even know who the fuck you are, tell us a little bit about your writing career.
Yeah. Started about 3 years ago. Michael Fawn, he got me into this website called Feverish Fiction, and just said, "Oh, do you mind writing a few bits and pieces, like little flash fiction fucking things?" And it was really, really cool. Went on for about 12 weeks. He published a book, and I was in it. And I'd give out a lot of submissions, loads and loads of rejections, loads. Sorry if you can't understand what I'm saying. Unfortunately, I'm English, and at the moment, I've got a really bad internet connection and a storm.
Dude, what time
So
is it there?
it is now 3:41
You're classing
in the
the shit
morning.
up, man.
Yeah, bring a bit of elegance, a bit of Englishness to the whole proceeding. But yeah, if my screen goes blank, it means
so tell me.
lightning has struck my house and I've just been electrocuted. So, if that
Well,
happens.
that could go one of two ways. You can either die or you can become a superhero. So
I'm going with probably the first one. I'll probably just get blown through the wall, and
So you said you received loads of rejections for your writing. Did you tell each and every one of those publishers to fuck off, to go fuck themselves? Did you publish every single thing that you wrote by yourself? Did you self-publish every little thing you wrote?
No, well.
that seems to be what happens now. That's publishing 2014. Publishers can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, just
and
chuck it straight on Amazon. Just chuck it straight on Amazon. You get enough rejections for something, you just think, oh fuck it, I'll get 99 cents for this. Fuck it.
yeah, even if I sell one copy, that's 35 more cents than I had last night.
Like this, so everyone wants to buy it, I guess.
So tell us about your story, Greg.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember it? Do you remember which story it is, or should I refresh your memory?
Kind of. Yeah, it's called Cavalcades of Cadavers, and it's kind of an English story. It's kind of a very British story. I've been reading a lot of stuff by people like Mark Gatiss and like the writers from League of Gentlemen as well. So it's kind of a bit of like a sort of Hellfire Club type thing, and then halfway through there's this weird corpse auction. You know, like kind of where they do like slave auctions for fun, and they
No, I mean you have to understand. You have to understand. We don't have any idea what you're talking about because Americans don't care about
It's
anything.
the accent.
That happens
It's
in
the
rest of
accent,
world.
isn't it?
No, it's just that Americans, we don't believe anything else exists in the world other than, the rest of the world, they're into American entertainment. Americans pretty much, we pretend you guys don't even exist over there. Unless you move to LA and start producing stuff for Hollywood. We don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. Get caught like in a car getting a blowjob off someone that might be a man.
Exactly.
So, and then we make the news like this English guy you've never heard of. It's caught with a prostitute.
Or you have to be in a Harry Potter movie or a Hobbit movie.
Yeah. I'm a bit too tall to be a celebrity dwarf, so I missed out on like sort of Star Wars, the Harry Potter movies, so. But yeah, it was kind of a cool little story to write, and I sort of got really, really drunk on red wine and just sort of smashed it out and sent it. Forgot I'd sent it
On
because I
red
was
wine.
drunk. On red wine.
Classiest person here.
Yeah. That's not a fucking British thing. Like, I got wasted on red wine.
Straight out of the bottle as well.
Do you have a
napkin? It's already in a glass,
Do you have a napkin near you to clean up your beard in case you get?
My personal assistant is here. Hello, say hello. I have a personal assistant because we get free healthcare.
Is it Mary Poppins?
I can spend the additional money on things like people that do my washing up and hand me wine or bring me tea. So
Damn,
kinda
you just
good like
bitch
that.
smacked America.
Yeah, but you've been doing that to
So
us
tell
for
us a
years.
little bit about. Well, this is true. This is true. We won the Revolutionary War, bitch.
Exactly.
What now?
We now have a London American football team. What the fuck's that about? I mean, come on. It's like rugby with helmets. I don't understand.
Tell us about your story.
Right, yeah. It's based in like a Hellfire Club type thing, like sort of very Victorian. And there's a guy that just gets really, really high and has sex with loads of prostitutes. And then there's this really weird sort of slave auction with corpses. And he gets a little bit emotional and a bit weird. And yeah. And he has to buy a corpse for this girl, and it's very odd. Very odd.
I like it.
But yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Congratulations on being the only person in the book that nobody asked to be in the book.
I blanked my way into it.
Hey,
I sort of slipped under the radar. Thank you.
Give it up for Grigori there.
Thank you very much indeed.
Good.
More red wine. Haha.
Look, we just talked to you a couple of weeks ago.
You did.
How are things? I hear you're planning on moving to Portland soon.
I am moving to Portland Wednesday.
Now, am I allowed to talk about the big project that you have on the table?
You can talk about the big project I have on the table, yes.
I'm wondering if that project happened to be green-lighted, and that is why you've made such a hasty move.
Oh, wow. You're all about you're all about like magic bullet shit tonight, aren't you?
Absolutely.
There was like, well, Rose O'Keefe being Shakespeare and Batman, as well as also being Carol. Yeah, she basically got it. She got it produced by BET. Me being like the noteworthy African American entertainer that I am.
Yes.
Yeah, I have not made a statement yet. So, but it's not quite on the table yet. No, I'm going to Portland because essentially Jeff Burke got me really, really wasted at the Lovecraft bar one night. And ballroom dancing with some friends, and I was like, this is a better life than I have. I just decided, like, I want to do something where I can, drink a bunch of hard cider in a Lovecraft theme bar and tango. I kind of miss tangoing.
I kind of miss tangoing. I'm gonna move to Portland because fuck the tangoing. And are you in Boston right now?
I'm in Boston, and I mean,
fuck the Boston tango.
it's not an impromptu thing. It's just like, this is a wonderful city, but it's a city that's surviving in. It's very like, it's kind of a harsh, pragmatic place. Whereas Portland is a place where there's a cupcake shop every 30 feet. That's more of a place to like just kind of start start living. I spent a great deal of time having no fun whatsoever, and I'm directed to that.
Well, I congratulate you on your impending move, sir, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your night in the middle of your move to talk to us. Let's talk about your story that you put here in the Strange Sex anthology.
First of all, I want to thank you for accepting that one, because nobody is going to touch that with like a 10-foot pole because of the title.
Hey, if Strange House Books goes down in the history books as anything, I am proud and honored to be the garbage disposal of Bizarro fiction. Whatever nobody else will touch, just send it on down my way, and we'll clean it up nice for you.
You're the kid on the playground who we dare to eat things.
Yes, absolutely. I eat the bugs that the other kids dare me to eat. So tell us a little bit about this story, sir.
Okay, well, it actually began when Ray Rofsky, Bizarro superfan, wonderfully, was talking about made some joke about me laying naked on the roof, and then I told her well, you might watch out for rape. And then Carlton Millick heard me use the term rape copter, thinking that that's an excellent title for something to use it. So I decided I would use it, and I thought about what the hell is a rape copter? Then the next day I was watching old episodes of Transformers, and I noticed there's a horrible perversity in every one of these cartoons we discussed. They're complete weird-ass power fantasy. And in Transformers, I noticed the weirdest fucking kink ever. And that one of the Transformers referred to a regular car as very sexy. Now, what is wrong with this? Well, you can't decide if it's bestiality or necrophilia is what's wrong with it. A Transformer attracted to a regular car? Is it like one of us fucking a chimp? Like one of us fucking a automat? So I essentially ended up writing essentially a book that's Nancy a novelette that's Nancy from Transformers guy about the tension between improper desires and power fantasies in children's cartoons, creating an epidemic of rapiness and dehumanization. As Transformer hentai.
That's fantastic. That is amazing.
It was definitely a thing that I was pretty surprised by it. It was not what I thought. It was not what I thought for a rape cover.
I remember when we divvied up the stories. Sean sent me my stories that I was going to read for the anthology, and he took his stories that he was going to read. Sent John Bruni his stories. I was like, why the fuck didn't I get Rape Copter? I was disappointed that I didn't get to be the first Strange House eyes on your story. Gabino Iglesias.
I'm not here.
You have one of the most complicated names in the entire group. One of the only ones that I spelled correctly the first time I said it.
Yeah, I mean it stands out in table of contents, so that's why I kept it.
That's your secret to success?
Yes, sir.
You're a good name in a table of contents? There's probably something to that. There's probably something to that. Being a good, strong name in a table of contents jumps out at people I'm going to read that motherfucker first. Gabino Iglesias, it's a good name.
Right, because you get 2 Timmys and 3 Johns and, a couple of Daniels in there, and then there's me.
A few Bill Thomases.
Exactly.
So you're a writer of things.
At times.
You wrote a pretty cool book called Gutmouth.
I did. I don't remember doing it, but I did, and I sent it out, and it got published. And that's still odd to me that I send things out, and and then they make it into print somehow. Because there's
Now-
some fucking crazies out there that will do that. So thank you.
Well, by now you know that I have a few pet peeves up my sleeve that I like to rant about.
Yeah.
I'd like to know how many pitches you had to send in before your Gutmouth book was accepted and published.
I only had one.
Oh, this guy. Oh,
Well,
I only, well, what it was I'm a bad motherfucker, and I wrote this book. I was
Hold
like,
on.
take it or leave it, bitches. It's my book.
Hey, give me a sec. Then Pitchapalooza rolled around,
Yeah.
and I sent in about 20 and nothing. So I was,
Oh, shit.
yeah.
Boom.
So it was
Now
like
that, hang
writing
on, now
the
that's
highway.
about the point. Isn't that about the point you should have told everybody to fuck off and open your own press?
Thing is, I come into fiction from a journalism background, and those editors are killers, man. They're like, you don't fucking know how to write a fucking paragraph, you dumbass. So compared to, thank you for letting us take a look at this, it's just not right for the project, yada yada, very proper email. I can't get mad at them the same way. So
I can only imagine the meanest Kevin Schemmel email has to be like basically him asking you out on a date. I can't take this.
Yeah.
I can't take this book
Yeah.
right now. But I mean, I really like it. It's such a, I've never received a Kevin Schemmel projection, but I talked to the guy, and he's such a nice dude. I can only imagine that they're very sweet and sincere rejection letters.
yeah, the harshest email I got from Kevin was like, I'm really digging that whole Amanda bicycle thing, but you forgot to talk about her boobs, and I think you should go back and write a little bit more about her breasts. And I was like, dude, whatever you want, I'll do it. Yeah, boobs. Let's roll with it.
Fantastic. So which year was Gutmouth? Was that 2012?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and so you're a person that writes things, and that's the thing you wrote, and pretty much that's one of those New Bizarre Author Series books that everybody knows. Everybody likes that book. Everybody reads it. Everybody loves it. So
I disagree, but thank you.
I disagree. I haven't finished it yet, but I do. Hang on, I do own it.
All right.
All right, everybody talk about Kevin while he's not paying attention.
Oh, that dude, jeez.
Poke fisting.
I do own it. It sits right next to my my Twilight collection, and
Thank you.
I very much enjoy that there's a woman with 3 tits.
I
on
was
the
gonna
cover.
say I am very envious of her rack. That's
well,
a legit rack.
Kevin wanted more boobs, so I had to give him an
Kevin
extra one
wanted
in there.
more boobs, so I had to deliver. That's a new thing I've never heard.
I like pleasing editors.
So I really like the book. It's very I like to write about very visceral body horror, lots of flesh, and
You don't say.
So this book is really I really like it. And I'm taking my time with it. Like I'm weird. If I like a movie, I only watch it once. If I really like a movie, if I really like a book, I just fucking take my time. I'll read a paragraph here, a page there. I just don't want it to end. And I'll probably never read it again, so I make it take as much time as possible.
Fair
it's
enough.
One of those books. I think I've been reading Gutmouth for like a year now. So,
All right.
but it was one of the first Bizarro books I ever picked up.
Thank you.
So I'm very happy to have you involved in our anthology here at Strange House, where the gutter of Bizarro fiction, the garbage disposal, where we take the things nobody else wants to touch. So tell us a little bit about your story.
I don't know, man. It's every story that I write actually starts out as something really nice and intelligent. So I was pondering, what if I tackled race relations in the U.S. and somehow that turns into Well, this folks from the KKK tried to get a Mandingo party going so they can slaughter all the Mandingos, and then they end up paying the price because the Mandingos' dicks turn into weapons. And
Now, ladies and
So,
gentlemen
yeah.
at home, ladies and gentlemen at home, I have to be honest with you. I have to confess, if there is a kind of go-to porn, if I've got maybe 5 minutes before I need to walk out the door to go to work, and I need to spank one out real quick, the Mandingo party, that's just the way to go. The big black dicks is just the way to get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 to 3 minutes tops, I'm in, I'm out, and I can get to work on time. I don't have to make excuses for I was late. So reading Mandingo Party Massacre was I was just like, I can dig this. No, but to be quite honest, and not that that wasn't honesty, but to be quite honest, the thing that I like most about short stories, and one of the hardest things to do when writing a short story, is to write a fully fleshed out story, but at the same time, it's just the tip of the iceberg. It's just, you're only seeing a glimpse of the world that the author is creating. If you've done a great job, the author will experience more than they've been given. And what I really liked about your story was that could be, I mean, you introduce us very briefly to a set of characters that I think should have a full-length book behind them. I think you could explore those guys. You're like, what? I put swords on dicks, dude.
I sent it your way because I thought you'd like all the dicks. But I'm glad you dug it on a deeper level.
You know, I mean, essentially what I'm saying is I like all of those dicks so much I want to read more about them.
All right, yeah. Yeah, I'll turn it into a novel one of these days.
Yeah. All right.
And they can kill white people across the country.
I'll probably masturbate to it quite a bit.
You have a deal.
Daniel.
Yo, what's up?
Daniel, you're a person that I just hung out with not that long ago.
Yep, that was pretty cool.
We're part of the fucking same writer clique, aren't we?
Yeah, what's it called? The Bizarro Writers Association.
Yeah.
Midwest,
the
Midwest edition.
Yeah, we have fucking Dakota rings, or some of us do. I don't.
I don't have mine either.
So we hung out in Chicago. You're a Chicago native, right?
Oh, yeah, I was born and raised. Still
Born
alive.
and raised. And still there. You're one of those bike riders, aren't you?
Yeah, I've been hit by 2 cars. So that's kind of cool.
Serves you right, you dirty hippie.
Hey, it's free transportation, man.
So you
I
write
ride the
shit.
bus.
So you write shit. What?
Yeah, I write things sometimes. I'm like one of the only people that paid to go to college for writing, so...
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. You just
Yeah,
need,
definitely. Well, now I'm really upset that I did it.
you just need more views. You just
Cost
need
a lot
more
of
views.
money.
And especially in today's era, because if you write something and it's not good, you can immediately publish it on Amazon Kindle and tell everyone to fuck themselves.
Well, that was a little before the self-publishing craze, but I still wouldn't do that either.
The irony being that I'm absolutely a self-published author. I might be the most self-published author of the entire Bizarro fiction genre.
You're a self-hating, self-published author.
I'm a self-hating, self-published author. So, you wrote a book I own also called The Church of TV as God.
Yep.
And I don't have it to show because it's actually in my shitter right now. I like to read while I take shits, and yours is the current shit read.
Cool, man.
Tell us a little bit about that book.
Yeah, it's just about a guy whose head's turning into a TV. There's a cult, a talking dog. It's pretty cool. I'm not good at talking about my writing.
So why'd you do that? Why'd you write that book?
Actually, I wrote it as an experiment because I heard like Kevin Shamel and Carlton Mellick do writing marathons, and I wanted to see if I could write a book in a week, and I actually wrote it in 3 days.
How was that experience?
It was cool. I wrote it while I was at my real job, so I got paid to write a book. So that was
Nice! Hey, let's give it up for getting paid to write, ladies and gentlemen.
What's that like?
Now, one of my first jobs. That was one of my main jobs that I had was I was a manager at a movie theater, and I actually wrote 2 feature-length films. I got good enough. This was back when film still existed, so you had these gigantic projectors that you had to thread the film all through before you hit the button. You actually had to, for the longest time, for basically the most of the history of cinema, there was actually a guy up in a dark fucking room by himself pressing go on your movie. Whenever you sat down in a movie theater to watch a flick, there's actually a dude that had to press the fucking on button on those projectors. Well, I was that guy, and I got so good at doing that I would be able to thread like all 12 projectors in our theater in under 10 minutes, and then I would sit with a notepad and fucking write movies. And 2 of my feature-length films were written that way, so I like getting paid. I mean, I got paid dick, but I mean, at least I got paid to write. So
yeah, it's pretty cool.
I got paid more from that.
Yeah, he got paid in dicks.
He got paid in dick. That's he got paid in dicks.
I got paid more at the shitty job for writing the movie than I got paid for people buying the movie. So, tell us, Daniel, what you wrote for this anthology. We actually met. We met once before. We met at the Bizarro Hour in Chicago, right?
Yeah, that was in December. It was pretty cool. That was my second ever public reading.
Yeah.
My first one being at BizarroCon, and I don't speak well in front of people, so.
You just got to imagine everybody is a giant.
I don't know how
dick.
I did.
You just imagine everybody is a giant dick, and then it's funny.
I don't think about dicks all day, though.
Why not? So tell us about what you wrote for Strange Things 2. Or tell us about dicks, one or the
other. Kevin puts his phallic pen into his mouth again. Shout out to John Bruni, who I'm about to switch with shortly, hopefully, who is currently in here. But he keeps talking about in the comments. Hold on, let me find it. Hold on. I think some sort of hold on. I quote. I think some kind of weird phallic thing is going on with Kevin's pen. So we notice. Okay. Continue.
I mean, I'm not shy about my dick fetish. Where are we at? Hey, first of all, I want to give it up to everybody for everybody's being so polite. This is not at all what I expected this show to be. Everybody's just quietly waiting their turn. We're like We're going down the list, talking to everybody individually. Brian Williams has been down there watching porn for the last fucking hour and 5 minutes. He looked at all the screens and was like, "Motherfucker, I'm the last one. I gotta sit here all fucking night." He's not even listening. He's not even listening to us. Daniel.
Yo.
What did you write?
So my story's called "The Sex Bus is Always the Right Bus."
The sex bus is always the right bus. Let's give it up for that.
I wrote it in 2011 for another anthology. Garrett will know about this one, the Spectacular Productions or whatever. I wrote it for his book, and then whatever happened with that. I wrote it in 2011. I haven't read it.
Since you brought it up, I've never publicly spoken on this situation, but I talk a lot on this show about things that I don't post on Facebook because nobody watches this show, so I don't have to worry about the repercussions of what I say. So there's like this consensus of the character behind Spectacular Productions who took a ton of stories for anthologies and even paid some people advances to publish their books, and those books never came out.
He has a weird publishing fetish, is what I think is the only thing it could be.
Now that is probably the most kindest thing I've ever heard said about this character. What most people say
between me and this gentleman.
What most people say about this guy.
Fucking Norman Osborn.
What most people say about this guy is that he's a scam artist, that he's ripping off authors. Now, for the life of me, I don't understand how giving people advance money and taking stories that they never publish and never make a dime off of is a scam. If somebody can enlighten me, I mean, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I wouldn't want my shit tied up.
The advance money was highly selective, though. The advance money was to make it look like he was giving out advances.
I never got any money from him. He had 2 of my stories.
No, seriously, no one else had. He gave out one advance because this was a person who would not deal with him. And there was like a cash. He essentially did that to create a material legit.
But what's the scam? Let's say I've decided I'm gonna rip all you guys off. I'm gonna not publish the book.
This is something I've been trying to get to the bottom of for some time, and I assure you, the man is guilty of a great deal of many other untoward, like Christ.
I wasn't one of the people who was like as bad as screwed over by him. He only had 2 of my short stories. I mean, there were people with like books, and we all signed contracts and stuff. So that stuff was just waiting.
There were a number of like there were a number of internet seductions. There were a number of dick pics.
What a weird thing to.
Oh, it's just, trust me, I got volumes of shit, and just like,
Garrett is going to publish a series of nonfiction essays called Not So Spectacular Productions.
the dude, there has been one, there's already been something of that title out, and that was Brian Keene's takedown of it and his request for an official statement from Spectacular that we're still waiting on.
That never came about. The guy just fucking vanished.
He would make official statements. The entire output of the press has been he is a scam artist. He's just not very good at it.
He couldn't figure out how to fucking close the scam. He got the first part right. He didn't get the second part.
That's a very long con of some kind that we've figured out the nature of, and that's by or insanity.
Daniel's like, dude, are you ever gonna let me talk about my fucking story?
No, that's cool.
Go ahead. So we'll talk with Garrett about Spectacular another day.
Back to the story, the sex bus is always the right bus. I wrote it in 2011. It was one of my early bizarro stories I ever wrote. I haven't actually read it since 2011, so when I sent it to you, I didn't even remember what it was about.
Good. I'm glad.
I know it's like he gets on like the wrong. He gets on like the wrong bus, and there's like an orgy. I think some guy gets masturbated with some donut mush. So
Good.
It's pretty good stuff in there.
And
so you took the nonfiction route.
Yeah, that's how every bus ride I've ever had actually is.
So we met at Bizarro Hour, and we both did live readings and shit. And afterwards, we went to a taco whiskey bar, and we started eating tacos and drinking whiskey. And it was you, me, and Justin Grimble, wasn't it? We sat at the end of the bar drinking, and you were like, "Man, I'm gonna send you some shit, man."
That's exactly how I sound too.
I was like, "Yeah, man, send me some shit." What we were talking about, Edward Lee. I remember being like, you know, it's really weird that this guy writes like the most extreme rape fiction and is published by a woman.
Yep.
we all bonded. We bonded by how sick fucking Ed Lee was. Justin Grimble is a motherfucking Ed Lee fanatic. As soon as I don't remember which one of us brought him up, but Justin was like, "You want to talk about Edward Lee? We'll talk about some shit, man."
I think you actually brought him up because you were talking about doing another Strange Sex. So you brought him up.
I brought him up.
I think so. I don't know. I had a lot of moonshine-infused blueberries.
Yeah, we got all nice and fucking whacked out, and then started talking about publishing. So that's where our relationship came about. And you were like, "I'm gonna send you some shit." I was like, "You send me some shit, man. This is gonna be awesome." And here we are. It's a few months later, and that's how you form a relationship with a publisher, folks. You just get drunk and talk about Ed Lee rape books.
You'd be really surprised.
All right, John Bruni, tell John Bruni to get on his Facebook and click the fucking link to join the fucking thing. Teep left and gave him a spot so he can get on, so John Bruni can get on and talk to us. And he's not clicking his fucking link, man. Click the link. Where is that? Did somebody? There he is. He's clicking the fucking link. There he is. You clicked the fucking link,
Hi.
man. All right, what's up, John Bruni?
Hi, I'm doing well. Yourself?
Hey, you just had a birthday, man. Are you 47 now?
36.
36. You're fucking old, man.
I am. I apologize for being old.
All right, we're gonna keep moving down the line here. Brian Williams.
Yeah.
You're a person.
Yeah.
You're a person that I like very much.
Well, you're pretty okay too.
We're pretty good friends, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're kind of bros, right?
Yeah. Lovers.
This is the first time you've ever been on the show. How'd we meet?
I don't remember.
You don't remember how we met?
No.
We were at a horror convention. We were at a Horror Hound, and I had been posting lewd and obscene comments on your wife's Facebook photos, and
Oh yeah.
and
I remember that.
and you guys came up and started talking to me at the show, and I shared my Baron Jaeger honey liquor with you guys.
Yeah.
It was a Cincinnati, I believe. It was the very first Strange House Books show we ever did.
Yeah. We were there with Trauma, I think, at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually how I met, or how I sort of got to know you guys was I had seen pictures of, or I had been at how did it go? It was, I had gone to a convention at Strange House had already started, but I didn't have a table, and that was Cincinnati, and you guys were there, and Ellie was, she was playing Sarah, Toxie's blind wife, and I had never seen anybody play that character at the Trouble booth before, and she's super hot. So when I got home, I added her on Facebook, and that's when I started posting rude and lewd comments on all of her pictures. And much to my surprise, that was apparently an endearing quality, and we all became friends when we met. But the next show, they were like, "Yeah, we need to hang," and stuff. So we've been friends ever since, right?
That's it.
And you wrote stuff for us too.
Yeah.
What did you write for us first?
Actually, the story that's in Strange Sex 2 was the first thing I wrote and submitted, and I submitted that for Zombie Brain Bang, and then I got inspired to write another story, just like in the middle of the day, like just literally like just sat down at a computer, started typing, and then it was done in a couple hours. Submitted that for Zombie Brain Bang, and that was the one that was accepted. OZ, it was called.
And I remember you telling me.
I was pissed off I sent in OZ because I was like, you guys accepted the one that I liked the least.
Yeah, you were like, if you guys take the fucking thing that took me 2 hours to write, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
And that's the one we ended up taking. And this is the one you actually spent time on and tried on. And I told you that if we ever did another Strange Sex, that we'd put this one in it, and that's what happened, right?
Yep.
But you don't give a fuck about writing, right?
Not really, no. I used to write all the time when I was younger, and I used to read all the time, and I honestly hardly do it anymore. Any writing that I really do these days is writing for like scripts.
Right, and tell us a little bit about your filmmaking career, because that's where your talent is most apparent.
It's pretty new, really. I just started getting involved in filmmaking a little over a year ago. Before that, I did photography for about 15 years. Did a lot of photography work.
And you know so many beautiful women. Like, if you guys want to know the secret to hanging out with the most attractive women on the planet, become a photographer.
Yeah.
True
What is
story.
that? What is? We have someone's passing notes during class. Who's passing notes during class? No, this guy seriously has like a fucking orgy of the most beautiful women I've ever met around him at all times. How do you do it, Brian Williams? Explain to me the secrets to being surrounded by such beauty.
I just generally I just tell people that I know who Kevin Strange is. And,
Right.
yep.
So tell us about your movies.
Did a short film called Play Me. It's gross. I did a feature film called Time to Kill. It's been out a few months now. That's mostly what I've been focusing on here lately is promoting that and getting that screened as many festivals and conventions as we can. Going to be in Louisville this coming weekend for Fright Night Fandom Fest, and I'm pretty involved in my next feature film right now. I only shot very little. I'm still actually writing and casting it, but it's going to be a Vignette sketch-based comedy like Kentucky Fried Movie, Amazon Women on the Moon style.
And is your wife going to get naked in it? That's the real question.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Fantastic. No, now Brian, sometimes he likes to, as I've said, I used to make movies, so sometimes Brian, against his better judgment, asks my opinion on the things that he shoots. He sends me some rough cuts of his stuff, and he sent me Play Me, his first short film, and he didn't tell me when he sent me the link that I was about to watch him brutally rape and murder his wife in some of the most graphic, awful stuff I had ever seen, and I literally got mad at him. When I finished watching it, I was like, fuck you guys, I didn't want to see that. And they were like, what? What is the problem? I was like, I'm never going to fucking watch that again. He's like, what's wrong with you? I was like, you fucking destroyed your wife in this movie. He's like, oh no, it's awesome, you're a pussy. And, his wife proceeded to call me a pussy, and I still, I went to a double feature screening at one of the conventions of Play Me and Time to Kill, and I wouldn't go into the movie until after Play Me was finished. So that's, it's a testament to how talented these guys are. They did such a good job brutally murdering and raping his wife that I won't even watch the fucking scenes because they're my friends. Also, Time to Kill has a lot of boobies.
Yeah, quite a few.
So do you think you're gonna write anything else for us, or can we go fuck ourselves?
No, I enjoy it. I feel bad because I don't think I'm very good at it, and I'm really glad that you accepted two of the stories I sent in, but I kind of feel like a dick because I don't consider myself a writer, and I think we probably have a big group of legitimate good writers here, and I feel like I'm impeding on their time and being a dick.
Do you think that I only put you in my books because you're my friend?
No, I think it's because you like my wife naked.
Do you think that maybe I think I'm gonna get cool points and be able to see your wife naked more if I keep putting you in my books?
That's my thought process. That's what. Yeah.
Well, remember that these stories don't go, for the most part, unless I supersede, and I don't supersede on yours because you're my friend. I don't even read your stuff. I refuse to be the kind of gatekeeper of your stories because you're my friend. So I let the others read your stuff, and your stuff legitimately mixed in with all these guys. You're a lot more. Just because writing fiction isn't your focus doesn't mean you're not great at it. And OZ or Oz is still one of my favorite stories that we've ever published. It's such an I don't give a fuck story, but it's fantastic, and it ends up with Jesus building a rocket and taking zombies to heaven to kill God. You just can't go. I mean, I might like your wife naked, but I also like zombies and Jesus wanting to kill God and building rockets and shit. So I mean, it all works out. So thanks, buddy. I appreciate you being in the book and doing this stupid shit with us.
Well, thank you.
John Bruni, birthday boy.
Happy birthday.
John Bruni. John Bruni, birthday boy. John Bruni.
I'm sorry.
John Bruni, birthday boy. How's it going, buddy?
All right.
Hey,
Yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm not dead, so that means I couldn't convince myself to kill myself last night. So that's
Congratulations.
hey, I take it a day at a time. You know what I'm saying? You've had a couple of remarkable things happen in the last couple of weeks. You survived to your 36th birthday.
Against all odds.
Yeah, well, that's something I doubt I'll do, but we'll, if I do, we'll probably be talking about it on the air. So that's cool. You also we revealed your the cover art for your new book, your Strange House, right?
I'm very pleased with it. It is beautiful. I couldn't have asked for a better job.
The cover artist. Tell us a little bit about the cover artist, the book, the title, everything.
Luke Spooner is the artist for the cover, and we went full dong. Except we did have to cover up the actual glands of the penis.
Well,
so,
we didn't have to. I preemptively censored us because for whatever reason I was under the impression that this character had a mechanical tridon, like a trident of mechanical penises, and with Luke's style, Luke has a really sketchy style. Like his stuff is very sketched out. I didn't think that it would be a gigantic caucasoid, Caucasian-colored giant dong just sort of hanging out of this guy's fucking robe like a serpent, staring into the fucking eyes of the audience. So when that happened, I wasn't about to censor it. I wasn't about to, tell him like, I don't want that giant white dong on the cover of my book, but I did just preemptively decide to go ahead and cover a small portion of the dick with the title, and I figure that'll get past the Amazon censors, and we won't have to deal with any kind of nonsense like that.
Oddly enough, I've shown the cover to a few people, and I have to actually point out the dong on the cover, so I think we're good with Amazon.
Good. Happy to hear that. So tell us a little bit about. We talked in depth about the book on the last show we did with you, but let's just give us a little overview of what you did and whatnot.
Well, the title is Poor Bastards and Rich Fucks, and it is very much that, the poor bastards versus the rich fucks. In the future, there are these rich fucks who like to steal people off the streets, people that society wouldn't miss, namely prostitutes, the homeless, people like that, and they put them into this kind of competition. They put they view them on the cameras in their heads because on the future social media you have a camera in your eye, and they hack into the system, and then they watch, and then they bet over who's going to die first and what's going to happen, who's going to kill whom, just crazy things like that. But this year is different because there's a ringer in there, and there's a few of the rich fucks. They put their kids in the game too. They're wayward children, and it's just a really fucked up class war type of book.
It's very good. We love it. We're very happy and proud to put it out. It's your third book, right?
That's right. Third book. Second was Strange House.
Second book was Strange House, and you've also recently taken on some very heavy responsibility here at Strange House, haven't you?
I have indeed. In addition to Strange Story Saturdays, I've also thrown my hat into the ring for the slush pile as well, for novels. I've also looked at stories for Strange Fucking Stories in addition to that. So I'm pretty much Team Strange House.
And you have the distinction of being only the second person to edit a Kevin Strange release. You are the editor of my upcoming collection, Murder Stories for Your Brain Piece.
That is true. I have to follow in the footsteps of Sean Ferrari. Those are giant footsteps, and I hope that I can live up to it.
Where the fuck is Sean, by the way? Is he in the chat room?
Dropped off.
Is he in the chat room?
Kevin.
What?
You forgot to ask me what my story was about.
Brian Williams, tell us about your story.
I don't want to talk about it.
Better talk about it.
All right. It's called Nads. And who you calling? I'm scared.
Well, where the fuck are you?
I'm calling it fucking shit, but you want to bother me. I'm just now heading home. I'm just now heading home.
I've got you live on the air.
Oh, right on.
I'm just gonna keep you here.
Sounds good.
We're talking to Brian Williams.
Fucking Brian Williams. I'm still trying to edit his goddamn story.
He's about to tell us about his story right now.
It's full of lots of paragraphs.
That's funny because the first story, the OZ or Oz that he wrote for us, he didn't add any fucking paragraphs. It was just one long, like 2-page rant, and I sent him a message and was like, dude, I'm gonna fucking put paragraphs in your story, right? And he's like, what are paragraphs?
The title of the story he sent me, the file name for it, it was Math with some paragraph. That was the file name for it. And what he did was he just randomly put the cursor any old place on the story and just hit enter, and that was how he figured out where to put paragraphs.
Oh, good.
In the middle of sentences, just wherever you want it.
Oh, good. So tell us about this story, Brian Williams.
It's about a necrophilia dating service where lonely guys can hook up with dead women, and something goes terribly wrong. Something is amiss, and hopefully disgusting hilarity ensues.
Is your wife in it?
No.
Dude.
What?
Why didn't you write your wife in it?
I don't know. Yeah, she's in it. She's one of the characters. Fuck, dude. Yeah.
All right. Where were we? Sean Ferrari.
Yeah.
Kevin Strange.
What the fuck? Why aren't you here?
I'm driving home. I'm pulling into my street right now.
This is like the most polite, well-structured show I've ever done.
You're a fucking liar. You know it.
I'm serious, dude. Everybody's just sitting here politely listening to each other. It's insane.
Has anybody
We're professionals.
I've seen no assholes. I've seen nothing.
You guys are disappointing me. Somebody show an ass right
Gabino's pulling his ass out. Gabino's just pulled his ass out. There it is. All right. All right, well, get on here. I'm hanging up on you, bye. All right, John Brundy.
Yes.
You were going to tell us about your story.
My story in Strange Sex 2. Well, first of all, has anyone here seen the Adam Sandler movie 50 First Dates?
Yes.
I actually have not, but I know what the story is. The basic idea is that Adam Sandler meets Drew Barrymore, and she's got this weird amnesia thing where she doesn't remember the day that she's just had. She goes back to square one every day. Most people see that.
Thank you, John Bernie, for whatever this is.
I'm just fulfilling something that I mentioned in the comments on YouTube.
All right.
I'm a man of my word.
All right.
You're welcome, Katie. So anyway, most people see 50 First Dates and they go, oh, isn't that adorable? Or, hey, that's pretty funny. I see that and I wonder, well, what if Drew Barrymore wound up in the hands of a serial rapist?
Oh.
Every day, he's got a renewable victim. Every day, he's got a renewable victim, and it keeps getting crazier and crazier. He starts confessing his deepest, darkest secrets to her because she's not going to remember tomorrow. It's he finally has someone to confide in, and slowly he starts falling in love with her.
It sounds like the literary version of Brian Williams' movie I don't ever want to watch again.
But yeah. That's when things get weird, by the way.
That's when things get weird. When he falls in love with a perpetual rape victim.
Yeah.
John Bruni,
I
there's something wrong.
apologize, Mom.
There's something wrong with you, sir, and I appreciate that about you. And I would say it has everything to do with you being a Chicago native, but Daniel's one of the nicest people I've ever met, and he just writes about dudes with TV heads. You go someplace that scares the fuck out of me. Like, I don't want to be. I've been alone in a room with him before, and I get these vibes like, you might not walk out of here. You might not make it out alive. But that translates into great fiction. And if you do ever get caught, for all the serial murder, answer me this, guys. Since we're on the subject, I was thinking about this for some fucking reason. Last night I was writing about a serial killer called the Madball Killer because he bores holes in his victims' foreheads with power tools and sticks an 80s collector Madball toy into their. When was the last time that serial killer taunted police with like notes and letters and stuff? The BTK killer, was that the last guy that actually was good enough?
Yeah. Okay.
What was it, Garrett?
I have no idea.
BTK.
I didn't catch that, Garrett.
The BTK killer.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He's the last one that I knew about that was
Last
right.
one to be like taunting cops with notes and stuff.
Right.
There
And
really
there hasn't been anybody since.
no. The diabolical archfiend type serial killer has been replaced by random school shooters.
Right. Well, and it's because we live in the nanny society now, where I mean, if you kill somebody, you're gonna get caught, so you might as well just go fucking waste as many as possible, and then yourself, right? That's the world we live in.
It's an American tradition.
And
Kevin, I'm going to cite you in my rampage.
What?
When I go on my rampage, I'm going to cite you.
What I
He's
love
pretty
about
much giving you permission.
What, a fighting rampage? That's not how you do it.
No, I'm going to cite him. CITE.
in his manifesto, he's gonna blame me for his.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like about this show right now, there's so many of us in here that when somebody talks, I have to look down at all the fucking pictures and figure out who the fuck is talking to me. So that's so Rich Bottles Jr. isn't here. He's got a story. Let's see. What do you got? Bruni, is Sean in the comments or in the YouTube? Is he posted in the YouTube comments yet?
I haven't seen him so far.
All right, motherfucker. Well, I was gonna have him talk about Rich Bottles Jr. He's been in every single anthology we've published. He has a record now. I think this is our 5th or 6th anthology, and Rich Bottles Jr. he is the only author that's never published a full work with us, but is in every single one of our anthologies. So
even Strange Story Saturdays, by the way.
And he's in Strange Story Saturdays. So I really hope that all of the publicity we give him is translating into sales for his actual publishing houses. His story is called Pinkfish, and Sean read it and accepted it for the anthology. I forget exactly what it's about. But it's basically a guy gets a new fish in for his like SeaWorld aquarium, and falls in love with it and starts fucking it, and as everyone said here about their stories, and that's when things get weird. Are we missing anybody else? Is that everybody? I think that's everybody. Yeah, that's everybody. So that's so gang, for better or worse, that is Strange Sex 2. That's the stories in the collection. And as I said, we just got Daniel Velocity tits. We've got Gabino Iglesias ass and Daniel Velocity tits. So, and then with John Bruni, was that your dick?
That is my dick.
You have a black dick. You have a black dick. Is that what you?
He's a Mandingo.
Yeah.
That's not uncommon. Like I was watching this gangbang porn with my ex-girlfriend not that long ago, and I was trying to get all hot and heavy into this porno, and she's just like, she could not take it seriously because one of these black dudes had a white dick, and she could not concentrate on anything. She was like, the dick does not belong to him. That is not his dick. What is wrong with that man?
It was the elusive albino penis.
Yeah, the albino dick on a black dude.
The elusive albino.
I'm guessing that John Bruni has the opposite problem. He's a very, very white man with a very, very black dick.
I won the raffle, I guess.
So, are you a black dude that has so much vitiligo like Michael Jackson that you've just from head to toe you've turned white except for your dick? Your dick is immune to the vitiligo?
That's true. That is true.
Tiffany's like, what the fuck have I gotten myself into? These fucking dudes have been talking about dicks for 2 hours.
We're back to the sausage fest, I guess.
What is that?
Did someone just flush?
I was going to say that's either a flush or a bong.
Both.
So what? I mean, I could talk to each and every one of you guys individually about your writing styles and your methods and all that stuff, but I think I can't believe this went so well. You guys are the most polite group of weirdos I've ever met. You sat there all quietly listening to each other. Do you guys have any questions for each other?
I think it's time that we should start talking about the porn that we enjoy.
Okay.
Let's go around the table. I'll start
Bruni.
us off.
Yeah.
I will say that nothing turns me on, nothing gives me a rod quicker than those cam girls who masturbate in libraries.
Cam girls in libraries? What is it about libraries?
Well, I used to work in one. I like to imagine that happening at the library I used to work at.
I have a library story. In 8th grade, I had a study hall class, and instead of doing study hall, I took a job at the library at the high school I went to, or 8th grade, junior high, whatever. Maybe I was in high school. Maybe I was a freshman. Anyway, so I took a job at this library, and it was second or third hour, and every day, as soon as I would get to the library to start doing my job, I'd have to take a shit. And so I would go into the library bathroom, and I would drop this heinous fucking pizza shit and stink up the whole fucking library with this shit. And this went on, God bless these old librarian ladies, because they let this go on for months before they finally told me, like, dude, if you're gonna shit, go shit in the hallway. And they ended up firing me a few months later. Like, I didn't even last the whole semester because I shit too much in the library bathroom. That's my library story.
I have a library shit story as well.
Let's hear it.
It doesn't involve me, though. Well, it kind of sort of does. First of all, I should mention that for most of my life, whenever I sat down in a bathroom that other people use besides myself, I never checked under the rim. And you really should do that each and every time.
Oh, boy.
One day I sat down. I was at the library. I was in the employee's bathroom. And I sat down, and my ass felt wet immediately. I thought, what the fuck is that? I stand up, and I look under the rim, and I see all these diarrhea splatters all over the bottom was almost completely and totally brown. And I work with almost exclusively little old ladies. Almost exclusively. So this is little old lady diarrhea shit that is now all over my ass. I have to clean this up in the sink.
All right, who wants to talk about their... Oh, go ahead.
To this day, though, every time I use a toilet that other people use, I check under the rim. That is the moral of the story. You're welcome.
Go to the Facebook page on the Strange Sex 2 Facebook group, and I posted a link in there, and you can just click that link and you can come on. All right. Who else wants to talk about their porn?
I really like softcore the best.
Yeah, you would. Fucking weirdo.
I like old Cinemax or USA stuff.
Stuff with Shannon Tweed?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Do you like it for the story? You like to get to know your characters and how they feel emotionally before they have sex with each other?
Yes. Yeah, and I don't like to see naked people. I don't really like naked people. I like mostly naked people.
So you don't like assholes all up in your face. You don't like your porn to start off right here.
Yeah, not really. Yeah.
Why are we talking about porn?
Me, I guess.
John
It's
Bruni's
strange
over
sex
there.
too.
He's over there he's just stroking one out, listening to like, oh, what do you like? Oh, is that what you like? Bill Thomas, what kind of Bill Thomas?
I like to wear a donkey mask and do cock and ball torture.
Do you?
Basically, if it isn't shit, piss, puke, blood, I'm happy.
Now, I used to go. This is an interesting story, and it's going to segue into one of our future shows. So I won't talk too much about it. But I used to masturbate exclusively to this website called HotMovies.com, and for a long time I was a porn snob because I managed a porn shop for 6 years, and I could literally, like, if I found a girl that I liked, I could go through the entire catalog of thousands of movies that we had on VHS and DVD and watch every single movie that this actress had ever done. And if we didn't have it, I could call my distributor and he would send me the remainder of her catalog. This was back in the late 90s, early 2000s. So when I left the porn shop and had this
Before
had this
internet
huge,
porn.
yeah, well, when I left the video store, I had this huge like porn gap that I needed to be filled, and that's when I went to internet porn, and I found this website called HotMovies.com. And what it is, it's the pay-as-you-go, like pay-per-minute website, and you can like refill your card. So I would put like 25 or 30 bucks on this card, and it would last me, you know, a couple of months. And it was the same thing. It was like cataloged by actress, cataloged by studio, cataloged by whatever, director, whatever you wanted to look it up by. And that was the only way I could watch porn for the longest time. And I forgot my fucking point. What were you saying? Oh, cock and ball torture. So I'm going through the catalog. I'm going through the catalog of this chick that I really like. I'm watching all of her porno movies, and suddenly I get to this flick that she's in, and it's her and this skinny Asian guy. And he starts being like, "So we're gonna have sex or what, honey?" And she's like, "No, I'm not gonna fuck you." And that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff turns me on. Like I like it when there's like an argument, like there's a conflict arises, and it has to be resolved before there can be any intercourse. So typically that ends with like, "Well, what if I show you my dick?" And she's like, "Oh my God, it's a dick." This, however, and I was totally unprepared for this. This ended with him being like, "So here's my dick and balls," and she fucking hauls off and kicks him as hard as she can, and he like fucking falls over on the ground. He's like, "Oh my God, you kicked me in the dick!" And she comes over and kicks him like 5 more times. This is the weirdest fucking thing though, because this is still porn. So eventually he like gets up and takes his Thor junk over and sits down in a chair, and she starts blowing this dude, and she'll fucking haul off and punch him in the dick from time to time. So this was like a regular. It was like they finished the climax. Like they had all of the sex that you would imagine, but like they're doing it doggy style. She would turn around and fucking haul off and nail him in the junk and knock him down again. It was the weirdest fucking thing I'd ever seen. And I temporarily was overcome with a dick and ball torture fetish. I found out. I followed the company. I followed the company that produced these movies, and I started watching all of these dudes and it was the same guy. Usually, there was only like 2 or 3 dudes, but mainly it was this Asian dude. He would be in these movies with all these other girls, and they would all kick him in the fucking junk.
That's not fixable.
Isn't that fucking weird? Like, I'm gonna get into porn, but I'm gonna be the guy.
I want to point out to you that if someone ever says to you, "Hey, I'm glad you mentioned cock and ball torture. I have a story about that," that's a problem. Nothing good is going to come from that. You're not going to walk away going, "I'm really glad I stuck around for that conversation." Yeah.
We have 6 viewers right now, by the way.
They're just dropping like Dude, it's just Kevin Strange still talking about dicks.
I thought 6
to be
was
fair,
like
we've all
a
talked
new
about dick today.
record.
Who else? We're going to wrap this up in a second, but does anybody else want to talk about porn?
I just like where they're like poorly acted, so it's like the pizza guy and he's like, who ordered the extra large sausage?
God.
That's like my favorite line. Like,
And then he opens the box and there's a hole and his dick is sticking up.
But it's also got the pizza around it.
Yeah, I always think about how disgusting it is for the chick to be face down in the Like, that's the problem. That's the problem for me.
I'm just impressed that this ruse has ever worked. even in like a fictional universe.
Yeah, that's the go-to though. We're down to 4 viewers.
Deception comes to fruition even in like a fictional world.
We literally have more people talking about pizza porn than we have viewers right now. However, don't take that.
I guess that would be
That's my life
impressive
story.
in a fictional universe as well.
Most of the people that watch this show watch it taped, so don't worry about the fact that we have just a couple of viewers. We end up with hundreds of views by the time we get around to the next show. So, anybody else want to talk about porn?
You know that porn with people having sex on antique kitchen furniture? You never think of chair legs the same after watching that. Table legs, hands just going up and down those table legs.
They're like climbing a rope.
You're gonna like my story because I include furniture porn in my my story.
He sure does. He does. He definitely did a good job.
I hope you also like deity porn. If you like mythological deities, fuck it.
I'll take it. Pan? Pan?
No, sorry. I got Thor. I got a bunch, but I don't have Pan. I'm sorry.
He's like, fuck that.
That's
no,
the
hey, if you want pan porn, just read Brian Keene's, what the fuck is that book? I'm reading
Dark
it right
Hollow.
now. Yeah, Dark Hollow. I'm reading it right now. Anyway.
One of my favorites.
About
I
that,
think
though,
objectophiles are really spoiled porn-wise.
MP, you were trying to make a joke.
They just have to like go to IKEA.
Right. They go to the discount furniture store.
For porn, and like everything's porn to them.
Yeah. Maybe they're really selective though. Maybe it has to be a dining room table from 1874 or fuck you.
Well, I guess that would then have like a relative, level of attractiveness of the object. Saying like, dude, your table's like a 10.
I like a nice piece of big black oak.
Do you mind if I come over and fuck your table, dude? You've got a 10 table, man.
Get a job as a mover.
The table, yeah, but.
Oh yeah, they get jobs as movers so they can be closer to furniture.
You just fuck people's furniture in the fucking back of the truck, and they don't even know.
Your partner comes out carrying a fucking chest and sets it down and opens the door, and you're in there just going to town on a love seat.
Maybe this is why everybody becomes a mover.
First he thinks you're fucking somebody on the love seat, then he realizes you're just literally fucking a love seat. Like, what?
Well, they call it that. They're trying to encourage something.
Actually, there was a guy in Wisconsin recently who was arrested for fucking a couch on the curb. The police officer just happened to be walking through the neighborhood off duty, and he saw this guy just laying down on the couch, kind of writhing around on it, and he got closer and saw that the dude was actually just inserting it right in there between the cushions and some holes there, hitting the springs.
Oh.
No, to be fair, that couch was filled with jelly, so you know.
Oh, okay.
There was also
to be fair, that couch was asking for it.
That couch was asking for it.
There's also a guy who was arrested multiple times for having sex with pool rafts.
I saw that. That's what I thought that was what I was getting ready to mention. Was it multiple offenses? But no, it's the pool raft guy that was multiple offenses.
Yeah, he was arrested.
Wisconsin also has the exercise ball guy, and Wisconsin also has the deer corpse guy. Wisconsin's got lots of sex guys.
There was also someone who had sex with a picnic table, which I don't understand. A guy having sex with a picnic table. I don't understand how that really.
Splinters.
They got the little holes in them, man.
I guess you could use
the umbrella, yeah.
Yeah. But that's like rough wood, man. It's not like the smooth oak or something.
Hey, there's guys that like to be kicked in the fucking balls, dude.
This is true, I guess.
All right, this is out of hand. Do we have any other things to talk about, or are we done? Are we done, or is anybody like, damn, he didn't let me talk about my porn?
Does anybody want to talk about their different inanimate object that they like to fuck?
No, we need to talk about the
Animate objects.
We need to talk about the sequel to Sex Squatch.
Creatively titled Sex Squatch 2.
Yeah, wasn't it originally called Teen Ape versus Sex Squatch?
I think that's what.
But you guys didn't. Go ahead.
I think that's what the DVD company is going to release it as, but to us it's just Sex Squatch 2.
Because you guys don't actually fight, right? That's a misleading title.
No, we have a fuck fight fest.
You have a fuck fight fest.
A fuck fest fight.
How does it compare from your perspective? Where did my? How does it compare to the Teen Ape versus Choach fuck fight from Teen Ape Goes to Camp?
Oh, I think we have a better fuck fight. Oh, we have a way better fuck fight.
Yeah, you think so?
Oh my god, I got fucking titties everywhere.
I
was wearing them like fucking life preservers, just titties.
Because that's one of my favorite fuck fights in any LBP movie.
Well, you can add another.
What's another one?
Those are two. Those are the two that exist.
No, there's another. No, you're right. That is it. There's a lot of fuck scenes.
I always thought Freddy versus Jason should have had more fucking in it, but
yeah, should have had more fuck fights.
I think that Freddy and Jason should have fucked.
There was definitely tension there. But I think that who would be the bottom in that scenario? Is Freddy gonna just get blasted by Jason's huge dick?
I think Freddy likes to be in control. He strikes me as the type who is mentally abusive too.
So he's gonna mount that fucking giant zombie like a little fucking chihuahua.
And Jason's
and he's gonna be verbally verbally abusive in the
fucking whore.
I see a dunk seriously, or a Dirty Sanchez to Jason, obviously.
You have to fucking reach with a mop or something.
Tiffany, I apologize for all of this.
Tiffany, what kind of porn do you like?
And then it got creepy.
You suddenly became the only girl in the room somehow. I apologize for that.
Hey, hi.
No, this is fucking awesome. No, I'm very, very raunchy and love talking about porn and love talking about sex all the time. And
this is good. That's a good thing.
Yes. No,
Rocco was very interested. Rocco really wants to hear what you would say.
I really like watching shit by Andrew Blake. It's not really anything that anybody could ever get off to, but it's hot babes getting naked and doing like really cool artsy shit.
Now, since I am a porn connoisseur and again worked at a porn shop for 6 years, I know exactly who Andrew Blake is. He's more of a he's a big budget music video style director, but with fucking. He just makes the most lavish, beautiful fuck scenes in history. I don't think anybody's ever done porn as beautifully as Andrew Blake does.
Have you ever seen Philip Mond?
No. Now you've called me out and you're like, oh, you think you're a connoisseur? What about this guy?
I'm not a connoisseur. I never worked at a porn shop. I'm just a disgusting pervert.
You don't have an excuse.
My excuse is that I like to masturbate a lot.
Yeah.
But if you like Andrew Blake, look him up. He does really artsy stuff and makes women dress up as latex insects.
What?
Yeah, he has the one called Insects, but spelled INSEXTS. What do you there?
Is that the green porno guy?
What? What was that?
Is that the green porno guy? The one who does the stuff with Isabella Rossellini?
I don't know. No. This is actual porn.
Oh, okay.
Just look for insects. No, but I know what you're talking about too.
What's his name?
Philip Mond, M-O-N-D. That's all for you YouTube people too.
I'm looking him up on YouTube
This
to
is the
find
best
some
one.
YouTube-friendly stuff, and I can't.
I think you're gonna find that.
What is that, Daniel?
I don't think.
It's a share workout tape.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. He likes those 80s girls with big hair and unshaved genitalia.
It's illegal.
Wait, is that called Shareobics?
It's called
Oh God, it's
Share Fitness Body Confidence.
Boo.
Oh.
It's not a
It would
play
be-
on
It would
words.
be better if it was called Sharerobics, though.
That's
It
a
would
true.
be much better.
That's a true literary mind right there. He's not going to watch the porn because he doesn't like the title. It's not a play on words. Tiffany, we interrupted you when you were talking about Andrew Blake.
Oh, no, Andrew Blake is great. Huge inspiration for photography and just imaging in general. And tits. Great
Because
tits.
Tiffany is actually a porn photographer, aren't you?
I have photographed naked ladies before. Yep.
Me too.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's amazing how many women are just so happy to pose in front of cameras.
It really is awesome. Like there, most of the things that happen in this life are terrible, but the fact that women like to pose nude in front of cameras is that's one of those. You have to look for the small victories in life, and that's one of them. Like women are drawn to fucking cameras and no clothes. Like, do you really? Is this gonna be for? Does this like? Is this the? Does the story call for this? Do you really, is this what the story needs?
Oh, it's been great. I was shooting, and I've taken a break from this now, but doing the Bizarro Babes photo shoots.
Yeah.
Getting a bunch of my Babely friends to photograph with Bizarro fiction books, and during any of those shoots, there would be 3 to 6 other girls, and between photos, all these women would just be disrobing, and at one point I turned around and I was surrounded by like 5 naked women like changing for their next photos, and I was thinking, this is awesome. This is awesome. This is my life right now.
That's a fantastic life. Let's give it up to Nick, ladies and gentlemen. I think, what is the fuck clock is that?
Is this?
Yo, that's mine. That clock's from the 1800s. Don't worry about it.
Motherfucker! We're gonna do it. Don't worry about it. Is that your clock fetish? Do you fuck that clock?
If I could find a way to, I probably would.
That's a
All
big
right.
throbbing clock.
There's always a way.
A
Hey,
huge
that
throbbing
clock had a hot dong.
All right, I love each and every one of you guys. I
Hold
consider
on,
you all
wait
friends.
just a second.
I love you too.
1 second. 1 second. I feel bad about bringing up the whole dick thing with sending my dick and you putting it up on YouTube. So here's from issue 3 of Tabard Tales of Questionable Taste. I have this, one of my friends
Well,
who did this for me.
Thank you.
I
All
want
right.
to class it up a little bit for everyone.
Thank you.
Please continue with your conclusion.
We combat dicks with tits. That's how we do things at Strange House. No, I consider each and every one of you guys friends. I handpicked this, except for fucking Grigori. I handpicked every one of you guys to be in the fucking anthology. He just fucking slipped in somehow. No, you're all great sports. I appreciate you coming on and doing this show. It was a lot better than I could have ever hoped it was going to. I hope you guys weren't too bored. You guys were troopers and sat through the whole thing, listened to everybody's story, and I appreciate that. I hope to do a lot more work with you guys in the future, and I hope to see as many of you as possible at BizarroCon, and maybe we can do some more little mini videos at BizarroCon this year, and I hope to do some more involved work with each and every one of you, because you're extremely talented authors. You inspire me every day to keep pushing forward. I've been looking forward to this show for months, since we sort of put together this group of people. And everybody out there, Strange Sex 2 will be available on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback versions next week. Please pick it up. Support these authors. They're awesome. All the stories are great. If you're looking for some perverted fucking nonsense, if this 2 hours doesn't convince you that we're all fucking massive perverts, I don't know what will. But together we can strange the world.
Strange the world.
Strange the world.
I was going to send this link to my mom, but I don't think I'm gonna.
Strange the world.
Hack the planet!
Strange the world.
I'm not playing this game.
Strange the world.
Strange the world? Are we all supposed to say
Strange the world.
This is getting uncomfortable.
Strange the world.
World's the strange.
Strange it.
Strange.
Strange the world. Strange the world. Together we can strange the world.
We can do it.
Strange the world. Strange the world. Strange the world.
Now I'm getting a rod.
Strange the world. Strange the world. All right, we're done. We'll see you guys next time. Hey, next time is MP Johnson. MP Johnson next Sunday night.
Hey, that's me.
7 or 9 or 8 or something Central Time. We'll see you guys. We're going to do in-depth 2 hours with MP Johnson. We're going to talk about Pork Knuckles Malone. We're going to talk about Dungeons and Drag Queens. We're going to talk about his upcoming book, through Strange House. We're going to talk about lots of things with MP Johnson. So tune in next weekend. We love you, and together we can strange the world. Bye-bye.